I think for so many people right now, especially like millennials who are like in that, 40, 30s, 40s range right now, home ownership, I barely know anyone my age who owns a home. And so it's not even a debate because you probably can't afford to do it anyways. Whereas if you live in a more affordable part of the country, then I think it's more of a math question, right?
The world that we're living in now is changing so fast. It's hard to say whether or not, renting or buying is ultimately going to be the right choice when there are so many things outside of our control that will ultimately impact your shelter.
Hey, my name is Chris Browning.
And I'm Paco de Leon.
And welcome to Our Two Cents, where we dive into the money topics that everyone is talking about. Paco, renting versus buying. Is it a smart decision to go out and buy a home, or is it a trap and renting is the way to go?
For the record, I'm sure you agree, renting is not throwing away money.
No. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, there's the whole idea that you shouldn't rent because it's throwing away money. And I've always had a problem with that because, I had a place to live. It's not like I just gave someone money and just went and slept on the street. Like, I was in a building, in a home. And I mean, I'm assuming you feel, of course, you feel the same way about this.
Yeah,
right?
That's like saying buying food is throwing away money. It's necessary. You have to protect your person from the elements in a shelter.
Yeah.
And that's what you're exchanging your money for. And I mean, if you play it right and you are renting and you're in a good situation where you can make that monthly nut and it's not growing too quickly and you can increase your income, then you can start to play other games and invest your money or start a business or take risks in other ways, because as you said, for a lot of us, housing is not even, buying versus renting is less of a choice. So what can we do with our money and find different ways to actually exercise choices outside of the age-old tale of number go up when you buy a house. Renting provides a tremendous amount of flexibility if that's something that you want in your lifestyle. It's something that I value. I like being able to feel footloose and fancy free with, frankly, my whole life. If I wanted to go and live in Spain for 3 months, like, that is available to me and I'm not too concerned or worried. The way that I look at buying a house, I think that I need to have like a ton of money that I would feel comfortable setting on fire to feel confident and secure and safe buying a house, because you're not just buying the shelter, you're also buying the incredible opportunity to maintain that shelter. And my wife's an interior designer, so I literally hear her talking about bids for new closets and a roof and all these things, and like, your grocery bill has gone up, but like so have those. And so I am surprised that I'm at the age that I'm at and I'm feeling this way, but it's kind of like looking at what has happened over, the last 20 years or so. And then this is a bummer, but the fires in LA have really snapped things into perspective of like the possibility of climate change impacting housing. And the longer term picture that I'm even looking at is you have this giant generation of baby boomers who had this demand for housing post-war. You have our generation, which are the children of baby boomers. We're one of the biggest generations, alive. We are going to create upward pressure on demand if supply cannot keep up pace. But what happens as we age, or what happens if the generations before us are shrinking and the demand goes down? So even our own ideas and philosophies of housing must go up, I think, should be questioned in the larger sense of just a changing world. And maybe that's not the answer that you're looking for.
No, but it was an interesting one that you gave, though. It's not what I expected, but I think it's part of the broader conversation, right? Because I think for so many people right now, especially like millennials who are like in that, 40, 30s, 40s range right now, home ownership, especially depending on where you live in the country, us living in California, one of the most expensive states to live in, I barely know anyone my age who owns a home. And so it's not even a debate because you probably can't afford to do it anyways. Whereas if you live in a more affordable part of the country, then I think it's more of a math question, right? Like, you can really make that value decision. But what we're seeing is that as people spread out around the country and try to leave high cost of living areas, you kind of just take that price pressure with you. And it is kind of making this a difficult, really kind of taking away the choice, period, for so many people in different parts of the country. And so I think kind of what you're saying is like the idea of a home being the thing you have to do because it is not only a place to live, but it's like an investment in your future. It's like for your retirement. It's all these things. Like, it could change. The system doesn't have to always be the way it is, and housing has consistently gone up for years and years and years, decades now, but doesn't mean it always will. And maybe that should affect how we think about housing and whether or not it is the investment we think it is, or versus it's a housing situation for us. It's a place to live, and it's a decision we make because we want to do it, not because we have to or because it's some bit of financial gain we can get from it.
Yeah, I mean, the data that we're looking at with housing, it's a lot of data if you compare it to a lifetime, right? We look over the last 100 years, housing has gone up, but with the world that we're living in now, is changing so fast. I can see us making progress in the next 10 years that would have been equivalent to the last 100 years. So I think it's hard to say whether or not renting or buying is ultimately going to be the right choice when there are so many things outside of our control that will ultimately impact your shelter.
Hey, so thanks for joining us here on Our 2 Cents.
And don't forget to hit us up in the comments with your 2 cents.
Yeah, and also leave us a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel.